Hello bookworms! Today I'm here with another news and stuff video. This is going to be mostly bookish news actually, and a little bit of TV stuff. But I feel like I have so much to cover because it's been a little while since I've done one, and the last one that I did was a New York Comic Con edition, so that was mostly like comic stuff. But there's a lot to talk about, so here we go. So Leigh Bardugo just made an insane deal selling her next duology. The first book is called Ninth House, and it follows a girl named Alex Stern who goes to Yale University, and she gets caught up in kind of like occult activities that happen in like the secret societies at Yale. And it's like real weird that she would get this opportunity because she's actually a high school dropout and she has a criminal record, but she like mysteriously gets offered this chance to be a freshman at Yale in order to, I guess, infiltrate this secret society and try to like find out what's going on there. This is going to be like a coming of age story, and it's being published by Random House, and Leigh got a lot of money in order to write this series. So good for her, because she totally deserves it. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. It sounds like it's going to be really interesting and really different from everything else that she's done so far. The next thing that I wanted to touch upon is the cover was revealed for Victoria Schwab's conclusion to The Savage Song, or The Monsters of Verity duology. The first book is The Savage Song. The second book is Our Dark Duet. And the cover was just revealed for that, and it is so beautiful. It definitely follows the whole scheme of the first book, but I love that it has the blue instead of the red. It just looks so gorgeous, and I really have to read that first book so that I could read the second one too. We also got some seasonal posters for Gilmore Girls. This happened like a couple of weeks ago, so I apologize that I'm just talking about it now, but I'm really excited about them, so I didn't want to like leave it out of here. But I just love all the Gilmore Girls stuff that we're getting to see, and we also got to see a trailer, and that was amazing, and it had me laughing, and it also almost had me in tears at one point, and I really loved it. And Funko is also coming out with Gilmore Girls Funko Pops, so I am definitely getting those. So excited about that. But I really like the seasonal posters. I think I'm probably going to like the fall and winter episodes the best. I just like want it to be Thanksgiving so that it could be Black Friday and I could be home watching Gilmore Girls with Andrew. The next bit of casting news is that Netflix has announced that Amy Beth McNulty is going to be playing Anne in the Anne of Green Gables Netflix original series. I actually never read the Anne of Green Gables books, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the adaptation, and I feel like it's a good opportunity for me to make myself read them before that comes out. So I'm really looking forward to that, and she looks like she would be perfect for the role of Anne from everything else that I've like seen in the past. And then speaking of Netflix, we also got a beautiful trailer for a series of unfortunate events, the Lemony Snicket adaptation that's coming in January, and oh my gosh, I'm like, I just cannot wait for that. I also never read the series of Unfortunate Events books. I did see the movie when I was younger, but I just think that Neil Patrick Harris looks like amazing in his role as Count Olaf, and I feel like it's going to be really great. Netflix has done such a great job like with the Marvel shows and everything that I feel like they're going to do an amazing job with this as well, and people that are fans of the series are going to just love it. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think I'm also going to read a couple of those before that series comes on. Then I had a little bit of Harry Potter news. Ollie Moss came out with these gorgeous prints for Harry Potter. He did one for each book, and they're honestly just like breathtaking. Unfortunately, they're not available anymore. They were online for about 2 weeks, I believe. And I ended up ordering the one for the third book for Prisoner of Azkaban. It's just gorgeous. Like, I love it. I also really wanted to get the Half-Blood Prince one, but I decided to wait, and then I decided to just stick with Prisoner of Azkaban since that one is my favorite. It was really expensive to get all 7 of them, so I just wanted to get the one that would like commemorate my favorite book, but I'll show you what those look like because they're just breathtaking. And then we also found out that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is actually going to be 5 films instead of the original 3 that we thought. I think a lot of people are a little bit nervous about this because it seems like it's just being stretched out into this huge thing when it's this tiny little textbook, but I am really excited about it. I have full faith in J.K. Rowling, and I also think that it was really smart of them to make this announcement before the first movie comes out, because I feel like if Fantastic Beasts came out and it did really well, and then they were like, guess what, we're making 5 movies instead of 3 movies, everyone would be like, oh, they're just trying to like cash out on this experience, and they're just making they're extending a story into more than it needs to be in order to make more money. And I feel like by announcing it before that film comes out, it's really showing that they're confident in this story and that there is something that long there to tell. And it just sounds really, really interesting. I love that it's going to be leading up to the Harry Potter story that we all know and love, and I think it's going to be really cool to see the Dumbledore and Grindelwald battle and everything. I think that's going to be amazing, but I don't love the Johnny Depp casting news for Grindelwald. I'm really not into that, so I'm just gonna have to see how that goes. Oh, also really interesting. So as many of you know, a lot of people on BookTube and that have book blogs and Bookstagram and just are involved in the book industry go to BEA every May. But this year they announced that they're changing the name, and it's no longer going to be called BEA, which is Book Expo America. They're going to just shorten it to Book Expo. And they also announced the dates for it. It's going to be from May 31st to June 2nd, and it's coming back to my hometown in New York City. It's going to be at the Javits Center, and I'm really glad that it's returning there because while Chicago is beautiful and it was really enjoyable to go there, it is much easier to get to the Javits Center than to have to fly somewhere to go. It was also announced that Peter Jackson has gotten his next big film deal. He's going to be directing a series of movies. I believe it's a series of movies, or it's at least one movie. It's going to be an adaptation of a YA novel called Mortal Engines, which is a steampunk novel. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see him do something different because obviously we're so used to all of the work that he's done on Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but that all has the same kind of feel. And this is going to be something totally new for him and totally new for us to see him do. So I'm excited to see what he does in this new genre. Oh, and then also really exciting, Brandon Sanderson sold the movie rights to the Cosmere universe. So the Cosmere universe is all of his books that he currently has published. They're all interconnected, which is really cool. He's alluded to it a little bit, but there hasn't been too much crossover between books just yet. But he announced that now he sold the film rights to it, and the first book that's going to be adapted is The Way of Kings. The next thing that I have to talk about is something a little bit interesting, because normally I am the first person to be on board and really excited for anything that's going on. I am just an enthusiastic and an excitable person. That's just my personality. But it was announced that Melissa De La Cruz is going to be writing a YA adaptation of Alexander Hamilton and Eliza. Initially, upon seeing it, I was I don't know how I feel about this. And then just thinking about it more, I'm just not into it. I feel we have Hamilton, the play. I don't feel I need to read a YA novel about Hamilton and Eliza's relationship because I feel we just got what we needed to get. So I don't know. I hate to be one of the people that's down on something before they've actually read it, but I just have concerns and I just feel it's not something that I'm excited for. The cover is really pretty, but I just feel I don't care, which is weird for me because I love Hamilton so much, so much. I just don't feel the need to read a YA book about it. I saw the musical with the original cast when it came out. I have the soundtrack. I listen to it all the time still. It's been years and I still listen to it all the time. And I love it, but I just don't see a need to read the YA story. And then also everybody knows Alexander and Eliza's relationship. They get married and all, but he ends up cheating on her. So I don't necessarily know that I want to read this the beginning of this love story that I know is going to end with him cheating on her. I just have mixed feelings about it, and as of right now, it's not something that I see myself adding to my TBR anytime soon. And then lastly, we finally got more photos from the live action Beauty and the Beast movie that's coming out next year. I cannot wait for that. I feel that is going to be super amazing. I'm just gonna love it. I love the way that Emma Watson looks as Belle. I think she's so pretty. I think it's really cool that they ended up giving Belle more of a backstory and now she is also an inventor like her father, and they're using that as why she doesn't really fit in with anybody, because they said that they just said that, like, in the original, they were just like, oh, she really likes books and people think she's weird, but they wanted to give more than that, so they made her an inventor as well, which I think is really cool. Some of the shots of the Beast are a little bit weird, like his face looks a little bit weird, but I think it's because they're like still images and he is like a CGI character, so I think that once he's like moving around, everything's gonna look great. Belle just looks so good. And then we also got to see like all of the other characters, and Lumiere looks really weird in my opinion. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of them and like more of how they're gonna be in the film. I don't want to judge that like before I see it or anything, but I feel like some of them just look a little bit strange to me. I think Cogsworth looks great, and I think Mrs. Potts also looks great, but I think Lumiere just looks a little bit odd, and also the Feather Duster, she's like a bird. Kind of. So it just looks weird to me, but I'm so excited for that. Like, that's not deterring me in any way from wanting to see it or anything. And then the last thing that I just wanted to say, which is like not book or movie related at all, but is really exciting to someone like me who enjoys like cookies and stuff. They announced that Girl Scout cookies are actually going to be coming out with cereal. The first ones that they're doing are a Thin Mint cereal and a Samoa cereal. I'm really hoping that they make tag-along cereal because I feel like that is what I will like the most. That's going to be coming out in January, and that's just like a really random bit of information, but if you like Girl Scout cookies, you have those to look forward to as well. So that is all the news that I have for this video. I look forward to talking about all of the stuff with you guys down below in the comments. Let me know if there's anything new that you've heard of that you want to discuss that maybe I didn't mention here, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!